Gina from Haunted Flower, and yesterday I saw the new remake for A Nightmare on Elm Street. The first Nightmare on Elm Street was written and directed by Wes Craven in 1984. The story is this absolutely terrifying concept of a serial killer named Freddy Krueger, who was played by Robert Englund, sorry if I said your name wrong, for 20 years. And he hunts children in their dreams with his razored knife for fingers hand, but when he kills them in their dreams, they die in real life. This isn't like Clash of the Titans, where the obvious differences in CGI could make a difference for today's audience. The original Nightmare on Elm Street still holds up amazingly well in appearance and scare moments, so really, the remake is unnecessary, and people could just as easily go rent it again. But the name is the moneymaker, so the name is going to bring out a lot of people to go see this movie. I am a wimp. I am a big wimp when it comes to horror movies. And the new version did freak me out and got me a bunch of good times in the theater. Nightmare on Elm Street in 2010 was directed by Samuel Bayer based on Craven's characters. This version of Freddy is played by Jackie Earle Haley, a choice that I found very exciting when I heard about it. Haley's great talent is how he uses his voice. Just as you would remember from Watchmen, his character Rorschach, the most distinctive thing, of course, is the voice. Since Freddy died in a fire years earlier, he is covered with burn scars, so having an amazing voice is just so much more important than anything else. His new burn face looks a lot more realistic for how a burn victim might look, but die-hard fans might be turned off by it because it deviates a bit from the original character. When you're so completely used to something and then you see a different version of it, you know, some people buy into it and others are just like, not so much. Usually in horror movies you get a lot of stereotypes of the jock, the nerd. I was kind of pleasantly surprised that in this movie the student characters here are all very well developed with their own identities, absent of the typical annoying stereotypes that usually just make you beg for the killer to get to them already. Kyle Gallner was enjoyable to see as the character Quentin, since his scenes in Jennifer's Body seemed really short, and here he gets to hang out and try to be the hero as long as possible to get the girl. There's just something a little bit different about this actor that distinguishes him from other actors his age that kind of all start to look like interchangeable Ken dolls. Rooney Mara was a refreshing new face as Nancy, Freddy's favorite child. Mara explored different levels of intensity and fear, a vital task when your character is being stalked for most of the movie. I have to confess, I have not seen the original in several years just because of how much it utterly terrifies me. Both versions scare the crap out of me. From my point of view, the new version is just as frightening in many ways. The effects were great, but what's most important for this movie was the transitioning from reality and dream and making it more and more difficult to tell when people have actually fallen asleep. Some of it, almost scene by scene, is very, very similar to the original. The major differences between the movies are just Freddy himself. Final verdict for Nightmare on Elm Street in 2010. If you haven't seen the original or barely remember it, you'll probably be really scared by this film and consequently enjoy it if you like being scared. If you do remember the original very, very well, you might end up being bored and not find a lot of surprises here except for Freddy's new justification in a killing spree. In any case, the story itself is still a scary thing. To all the wimps out there, I made it through. Somehow. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Shameless plug! Don't forget to see all of my reviews and videos of me on the Rotten Tomatoes show at hauntedflowerreviews.com. Also check out our store, hauntedflower.com, the web's best source for fantastic apparel. You can follow us on Twitter at haunted_flower or fan our Facebook page too. If you're local to the Indianapolis area, visit indiemojo.com for details on how you can win free screening passes. We're having a contest this week at Haunted Flower where you can win a free Nightmare on Elm Street t-shirt, which would also come with a couple of little Nightmare on Elm Street keychains. All you have to do is go to the info for this video. There's a message that you copy and paste into Twitter, and it has a tag to Haunted Flower in it, so if you do it correctly, I'll see it and it'll enter you into the contest. Thank you. Tell your friends about hauntedflower.com, and there's all sorts of awesome Nightmare on Elm Street apparel there right now, so all the die-hard fans should check it out. Regardless, see ya!